Why didn't you bring party today? A junior national champion as a tennis player, and right now as a creative director, one of the best in Chennai that I would perhaps call.
Going through that process itself is mentally extremely draining. If you get injured for like 6 months, your ranking, just however good you are,
Right.
your ranking will go from number 1 to 0.
Makes sense.
Right? And then I won the junior nationals also after attempting it 6 times.
Have you watched the movie 12th Fail?
Okay.
Because everything that you're telling me right now, no?
Right,
It's
right,
like
right.
that hashtag restart.
Yeah,
Sir
YouTube
decides
video.
to choose none of these conventional options. He chooses like something that's like not even connected.
So randomly I'm watching YouTube and I land up on this one video. It's by Daniel Schiffer.
Okay.
That phase was like super difficult.
Yeah. Hello Makale and welcome back to another fresh episode of Conversation with Katie, where we bring to you some inspiring stories from awesome creators. Today's episode is yet another unique one. எங்க ஒரு ஜானர் தாங்க கண்டுபிடிக்கிறது கஷ்டம்னா there is someone who has been amazing in shifting their whole profession, and that, let me tell you, takes a lot of guts. ஒரு ப்ரொஃபஷனில் செட்டில் ஆகி அங்கேயே வந்து சக்சீட் பண்ணுறது கஷ்டம்னா, பட் ஃப்ரம் that comfort zone to move into a whole new profession and yet excelling there is incredible. Talking about none other than Neeraj, whom we all know. I think we know his party better than Neeraj right now because she is an absolute favorite. From being a junior national champion as a tennis player, and right now as a creative director, one of the best in Chennai that I would perhaps call. Please put your hands together and welcome Neeraj. Drum rolls.
Thank you, Kathy, for
How are you,
having me.
Neeraj?
I'm good.
No, thank you so much for taking out time and coming here today. I'm looking forward for the conversation, honestly. But let me start by asking, how are you?
I'm good, doing fine. Yeah.
Why didn't you bring party today? I'm kidding.
பார்ட்டி வந்துட்டு அவங்க வந்து எப்பவுமே ரொம்ப பிஸியா இருப்பாங்க.
Yeah.
So she couldn't make it today, unfortunately. Yeah.
But like, let me take this opportunity to tell that I've obviously seen all your previous videos as well. And in one of the interviews earlier that I saw, that she has been the one who's been your moral support since day one.
Yeah.
Be it your tennis matches,
Yeah.
traveling with you, looking after you,
Yeah.
and even today, being your backbone and your support
Yeah.
throughout. It's honestly, I think அவங்க கொடுக்குற அந்த பாசம் வந்துட்டு it reflects in the video.
Yes.
So we're very happy to see that, and thank
Yeah.
you for even having the idea of bringing that into content creation and
Yeah.
helping us see that. So thanks to her. So thanks to your party. I know you'd be watching this. Thank you so much for doing that for us, and thank you for bringing that to us.
Yeah, definitely. I think she deserves everything that she's getting right now, all the recognition and things like that, right? Because right when I was like 5-6 years old, that's when I started playing tennis, and she would accompany me to all my matches, and she would be so nervous watching me compete in all these tournaments and things. And over a period of time, because we were traveling, and tennis is a very competitive sport, right? So there are lots of ups and downs, and everything I'm sharing with her.
Yeah.
Right, and we are traveling in trains, and then we're traveling in planes. We have to stay in the same hotel and then go play the match. So she's with me all the time. So I'm emotionally also sharing so many things with her. So our bond became so strong. Right when maybe till I was 14 years old, she was traveling with me. After that, I moved on to a more
Academy,
professional setup. So she couldn't travel with me anymore. And after almost 10 years, when I was going to stop tennis and look at what else can I do, my immediate source of comfort was her again. And she was the one who actually suggested that
Let's do cooking videos.
let's do cooking, because she likes to cook for me. And she's the one who usually cooks at home for me if it's something
A special mention to all the chutneys and like
Yes.
the suttifying the dosa
Everything.
and also like the jackfruit jam. So I'm a
Yeah.
little envious, but okay.
Yeah, so she's the one who's because tennis requires a very special diet, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So she's been taking care of that diet for me for the longest time.
got it.
So she's very comfortable with the way of, the food I need and things like that. So when the lockdown hit, and she was the one suggesting that you're anyway shooting videos now, and I'm cooking. Why don't we put it together and just see what can be done?
Yeah.
So that's how that happened, and just love. Every video that we do is like a big surprise for both of us. So it's a great
It's showered
experience.
with so much love.
Yeah. Like for me, it's like an everyday thing because I'm around her, right? But when I see the comments and when I see people enjoying that, because she doesn't know anything about views,
Yeah.
followers, இதெல்லாம் அவங்களுக்கு கவலையே கிடையாது.
Yeah.
She only focuses on having a good time with me, having the video should come out well.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing she's worried about. So I think that reflects, in the video.
It truly does, and we really like watching her. Talking about your transition, tell me if this is correct. It's because that there were few injuries
Yeah.
that you couldn't continue, and B, it's because of COVID,
Yeah.
right? So that is when you decided to take a hard stop and transition. Okay.
Yeah.
But how was that transitioning phase for you? Because I think it requires a lot of guts to do that.
Yeah.
Right? Because ever since that you're telling me that since you were the age of 7 or 8, you playing tennis, and then now a hard stop, 2020, you decide to like take a complete switch. Tennis ko video creation ko sambandhame illa, but you still decide to do that. How did you decide to do it, and what was your emotionally, how were you during this journey?
Yeah. So tennis is, first of all, it's a very lonely sport. Most of the times you're traveling alone and things like that, right? So சின்ன வயசுலேருந்தே ஒரு 3-4 years தான் நான் இங்கே சென்னையில் வந்து விளையாடிட்டு இருந்திருப்பேன். Immediately you start traveling. 11-12 years ஆகும்போதே you start traveling to like cities around the country first. On a national level you start playing. So already you start feeling like, okay, we are on our own and we have to, and it's also so competitive, right? At that age itself. So you're put through a lot, but you have to be severely like disciplined.
Your mental health does go through like a turbulence, I would say.
Yes.
High, low.
At a very young age itself. But you don't, அந்த டைம்ல நம்மளுக்கு அது தெரியாது, right? When I was 11-12 years old, I'm not thinking about anxiety or I'm not thinking about loneliness.
True.
We didn't have that kind of exposure also at that point. So whatever it is, நம்ம விளையாடணும் அப்படின்னு தான் நம்மளுக்கு தெரியும். Yeah, and even let's just take the infrastructure of tennis in our country is not excellent. Right?
Agreed.
So we are forced to like travel abroad to train itself. So we are away from home.
Yeah.
Most of the year we are away from home at a very young age. The first time I left the country, I was like 13-14 years old. Okay. Yeah. So going to another country, staying there for 6 months, suddenly getting exposed to like very high intensity tennis. The food is so different.
Yeah.
But there are so many people suddenly around you,
Yeah.
in terms of coaches, dietitians, physiotherapists, just for one person, just to take care of one person and make sure that they are improving in their career. But you can't find any of that here. I mean, maybe now it's improved, but at that time when you come back here, you just feel like there's nothing here and you're all by yourself.
Got it.
Right? So that takes a lot. Going through that process itself is mentally extremely draining.
Yeah.
Right?
And I think even sponsorship wise,
Yeah.
I think if you say there are like 100 really good tennis players, I think there's like 1% or 2% of them who get the opportunity to be like sponsored. Otherwise, it's totally, I think the parents are like they are on their own. They have to take care of on their
fully.
own.
So it's an annual thing. Like every year, you have to either sustain your ranking or you have to get better. If you get injured for like 6 months, your ranking just, however good you are, your ranking will go from number 1 to 0.
Makes sense.
So you don't have a ranking. So it's like extremely brutal. So you have to take care of your food. You have to take care of your mental health.
Yeah.
You also have to keep taking care of your body also at the same time. So many things are going on at a very young age.
Yeah.
Right? You don't know what is going on because it's happening very, very fast. But what it gives you is the discipline. right? That comes along with it. You don't realize it, but you're up in the morning at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
You're going to
Yeah.
train. You're coming back. You're going to school. You're coming
Yeah.
back. You also
Yeah.
have to study,
Yeah.
and then again you're going to train. This is what
Makes
the
sense.
tennis life is
Makes sense.
completely, and you have to do good at everything.
Right.
You're kind of forced into that thing
Yeah,
because
yeah.
the education system also doesn't really encourage sports.
Exactly. I was just thinking of that
Yeah.
because one of my school best friends, she was into tennis and she played really well. That's I know this because she won at several matches. She would travel all the time, not just in India but even outside.
Yeah.
But I know the level of, because I've watched her journey so closely, I know the level of pressure that she and her parents had to deal with.
Yeah.
Right. Also academic wise,
Yeah.
you have to be here for the exam. There are a lot of things like homework assignments. Few schools might give you like
Yeah.
permission, that's because you're going to sports, but few schools might not. They'll be like,
Yes.
no, academic deadline is a deadline and you have to
Correct.
do what you have to do.
Correct.
So when you say that, balancing all of this
Yes.
and still being sane
Yeah.
is a huge deal.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, 14 years old, I'm traveling abroad, getting exposed to all these things, and then slowly I start getting better at tennis, right? And then I won the junior nationals also after attempting it 6 times. Like I've lost in the finals alone 3 times,
Damn.
and semi-finals 2 times, and every year you're just playing the same. It happens only once a year,
Yeah.
and the winner of that tournament gets sponsored by Adidas,
Right.
which is a huge deal.
Huge deal.
Right. So, but everybody is competing for this, and there can be only 2 winners at the end of it, right? Like an under 14 winner and under 18 winner. So, finally, when I was 18, my last year of under 18, I was able to win.
Yay.
Yeah. And I think that itself of, that those many years of trying and failing at it, but then again showing up the next year to again keep trying, I think you can learn this only in sport. I've not seen any other field where you get to compete one-on-one and then do it. You have to do it every single time. And tennis is, like I said, it's a very lonely sport also. So after that tournament, if you lose in the final, you have to be ready for the next week to go from round number 1
Right.
again. There's no shortcuts to again playing the final.
Exactly. This
Right.
on a macroscopic level, this looks like. Have you watched the movie 12th Fail?
No, I haven't watched it yet.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you should watch it
Okay.
because everything that you're telling me right now, no,
Right,
it's
right,
like
right.
that hashtag restart.
Yeah.
It's that.
Yeah.
That movie exactly depicts the same.
Yeah.
So when you're telling me, I can like literally imagine that, but
Yeah.
in the field of tennis.
Yeah. So then I got injured. Actually, when I was playing the under 18 tournament that I won,
Okay.
in the second round I tore my shoulder,
Oh no.
and I didn't know, and it was hurting quite a bit. But the fact that it was my last year of playing that tournament, and this was my only chance to probably win it, I just went through with it completely, won the tournament. But immediately the next day after the final, I couldn't lift my hand.
Oh,
Till then, I was completely fine. I mean, completely fine in the sense I was playing with the pain.
Yeah.
And that's the first time I tore my shoulder. So what happened, that injury stayed with me for a really long time after that. So then I entered into the international circuit
Got
when
it.
I was 19, 20.
Got
So
it.
you're traveling abroad,
Yeah.
20, 30 weeks on the road. And, hardly like, you have to travel alone. There's no coach or there's no physio because it's like super expensive to travel
Yeah.
with like a physio or coach like full time. So maybe 5 weeks in a year, there would be somebody traveling with you, but most of the time you're traveling alone. So this was happening and the injury was in the back end, and it was like, big hurdle for me. And after a point, it got to a, place where I couldn't play at all. It was that bad. So then I was in Germany
Okay.
at that point
Okay.
because I had shifted from India to Germany full time, and I was staying there playing out of Germany.
Makes sense,
And again, Germany is such a tough
It is.
place to stay because it's a very quiet place. People don't interact much
Yeah.
with each other. And you're going through so many things emotionally because you see everybody around you competing, they're playing, but then you're injured. It's not a good thing for your mental health.
True. And also again revolves around the fact that you're alone. Your family is not
Yes,
here.
correct.
The well-wishers are not with you.
Correct. So yeah, it's about at that point it was about staying patient, staying calm, just like focusing on what I needed to do, not getting too distracted by what others were doing,
Understood.
and just going through that process. But none of the physios or none of the doctors there could help with my shoulder. So I had to get back to India. I lost my ranking, came back here, trying to figure out things in Chennai. I couldn't
Okay.
find a good
Which
physio.
year did you come back?
This was 2017, 2018.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I come back here and I'm trying to find doctors in
Right.
Chennai and things like that, but I couldn't find people here to help me out also. And there's this player called Rohan Bopanna.
Okay.
He's a doubles, like the best in India for doubles right now. He's like number 3 in the world.
Wow.
Yeah, so he had a very similar injury, and I got in touch with him, and he told me, I have a physio in Bangalore.
Okay.
So why don't you come there and try it out? And I said, like, every physio has seen it, but how is this going to be a solution? Again, I'm traveling out of home and coming and staying somewhere else. He said, no, this is going to work for you. You just have to trust me and come.
Okay.
So went there, 3 months we got it fixed.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So end of 2018, I was back again. Like I was completely normal, but no ranking.
Right.
So you have to start from scratch.
Yeah.
And starting from scratch is like after playing the international tournaments where you are like, there are, people to help you with the balls. There are like umpires, the tournament is organized very well.
Yeah.
Going to a national ranking tournament which has absolutely no infrastructure at all, right? The matches don't start on time.
Yeah.
You're not provided with the right facilities.
Yeah.
You don't even have like proper changing rooms.
Right.
No, it is a very bad state at that level.
Makes
And
sense.
2019 was all about playing those tournaments.
Okay.
And playing those tournaments is even harder.
Yeah. You've seen
Right?
that, and
Yes.
like now you have to like from
Yes.
scratch again
Yeah.
start.
So yeah, 2019 I just played through all of that, got my ranking back.
Okay.
2019 I was back in the international circuit. 2020 I went to Tunisia actually to play one of the international tournaments
Okay.
in March.
Oh wow. Oh.
And yeah.
Oh.
So when I was there, that's when the announcement came, because
Oh.
Tunisia is very close to Italy,
Okay.
and there were a lot of Italian players there, and COVID was spreading in Italy quite a bit.
Okay.
So there was like a huge fuss over there, and they had to like cancel the
match?
tournament. Yeah.
Okay.
So everybody flew back to India, and that time it wasn't that bad, but we didn't know the severity.
Thank God at least the international airlines were open, because
Exactly.
I think 1 week
Yeah.
delay or 2 weeks delay.
Yeah.
Things
I
would have
came
gone
back
bad.
here March 5th or 6th.
Yeah, and
somewhere
I
around
think
that
from
time.
16th or something we had
Yeah.
a lockdown.
Correct. Yeah. So that's how that journey was for me. And my immediate instinct was, okay, let's train even in this COVID lockdown and things like that, because you don't want to let go of the thing that you've been doing for so long.
Yeah, of
especially
course.
because finally I don't have my shoulder injury also.
Yeah.
After
You've
battling
struggled
through it.
so much, like you've done so much, and even
Exactly.
2019, you've again
Yeah.
gone from scratch, done all the national
Yes.
tournaments. You finally have a ranking, and
Yes.
then like how would you like let go of it?
So that was a tough call. I waited for about 4-5 months.
Okay.
Just training at home. We can't go and play. So I had to train at home, wait and see how the tennis, the climate there is, like how is it going? Is it going to improve? Because it involves a lot of traveling.
Understood.
So if traveling doesn't open,
Yeah.
there's no chance to play. Like you can't even conduct a tournament because let's say there's a national tournament happening in Chennai. How will the players from Delhi travel to Chennai? So you
Makes
can't
sense.
conduct a tournament with 10 people, right? You
Right.
at least need like 150 players to
Yeah.
conduct a tournament.
Yeah.
So I waited through that, and during that waiting process, I was trying to explore, if this doesn't work
Plan
out,
B.
what should I do? And I was looking at different options, things like, okay, should I go study abroad? Because using the
Yeah.
tennis background, you
Yeah.
can get scholarships
Yeah.
in like colleges.
Really good scholarships.
Yes. So that was an option. Maybe I could become a coach with my experience. That was an option. Or maybe I could just go into my dad's business.
Right.
So either of these things could work out.
Yeah.
So I started exploring, and randomly I just landed up
Yes.
on one
Sir
YouTube
decides
video.
to choose none of these conventional options. He chooses like something that's like not even connected.
So randomly I'm watching YouTube, and I land up on this one video. It's by Daniel Schiffer.
Okay.
And he does these B-roll type videos,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I randomly landed on one of his videos, and I was like, okay, this looks cool, like let me watch it. And I kept watching it, and I was just going through going deeper and deeper into, like, how is he doing this? This looks so cool. And then there were like a bunch of softwares that he's using. So that's the editing software, right? So I'm trying to figure that out, then learning about camera, and all this is happening right in the middle of the COVID lockdown.
Got it.
So I just got so intrigued by it that when I wake up, I'll just start watching YouTube.
Boy.
And then the entire day is just YouTube. But I didn't have a camera, no laptop, nothing. So, I mean, I had a laptop, but doesn't have these softwares or anything, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, what can I do? I'll edit on my phone. So I simply took my phone, was shooting something at home.
What's the app you used?
iMovies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Understood.
So I tried to edit on that. It was horrible. So I was like, the problem is that I haven't practiced enough, of course.
Yeah.
So to get to that level, let me see what I should
Got it.
do. So yeah, that's how the shift happened. But on a more serious note, that phase was like super difficult.
Yeah.
That 4-5 months was like super difficult. Even though I just say that I landed up on one video, there were like so many things happening in the back end. As to what am I going to do next? If this doesn't work out, what should happen? I mean, what's going to happen? And there's a lot of pressure, right?
Of
25,
course.
26.
That age and like.
Yes.
It just comes,
Yeah. So, somehow was able to make the transition. Yeah.
One YouTube video.
Yeah.
But then that's so nice. See, that's why this conversation also, today we see how many views your video get or like what's the level of affection that everyone is showing. It has a lot of engagement. But then the level of difficulty that you have been through, the level of obstacles that you've crossed, right? That is a huge deal. Okay. So even this fact that you just mentioned, that you did not have any prior knowledge about it, like no video, you did not study Viscom, you did not learn anything about it. It was one video you saw, and then constant dedication and follow up, learning everything by yourself. Started with iMovies, for God's sake, guys. So, this really proves that if you put your heart and soul into something, the world is yours.
Yeah.
You can definitely conquer the world.
True.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's a very famous Shah Rukh Khan dialogue in Hindi, but it's sonna adipangena sada.
Yeah.
So if you put your heart and soul into something, you can definitely conquer the
Definitely, yeah. I think அந்த டைமில் வந்துட்டு ஹெல்ப் பண்ண பிக்கெஸ்ட் திங் வந்துட்டு என்னோட டென்னிஸ் career-la, whatever dedication and the discipline that I had, right, of waking up at this time, spending so much time on something, being really focused. Once, I'm the kind of guy who gets super obsessed once I like something. So if I'm obsessed with an idea, even now, I go to a great extent to make that idea a reality. Right, so executing that idea as soon as possible is what,
and not chumma executing, being like the best at whatever
yes.
Yeah.
So once I get the idea, I'm like super obsessive over this idea, and I'm like, okay, how fast can I execute it? It doesn't have to work out. That's not what I'm expecting, but going through that process, right? And maybe when in your head it was like a great idea, but the sooner you execute it, you know that it work out aguda illa work out alaya. So you can understand a lot from it. Correct. Rather than planning too much for it and thinking too much about it. Correct. So that's my process.
Correct.
Have an idea, execute it as soon as possible.
And this applies to all the fields.
Yes.
I think to all the categories.
Yeah.
Right? Unga audience, I think major portion pathina, I think it's people who are aspiring to be content creators or aspiring videographers, editors, or someone who've just started. Okay?
Yeah.
Right. So to them, if you had to make a solid plan or like a foolproof plan, because if I'm not wrong, I think that is what your DMs are filled with.
Yeah.
I'm like, Anna, idu eppadi solli kodunga, like I want to also become like you. What is it that I need to do? So to all the aspiring creators and videographers out there, what's this like one solid proof plan that you'd say, do this?
So start பண்ணும்போது you have to try everything.
Okay.
To find what you like doing. Because what you like doing is very important.
Makes sense.
ஏன்னா அப்பதான் long termல you can keep doing that particular thing. There's no point in doing something that's trending or doing something that's popular or doing something that is working for somebody else. Right? So you have to find what works for you,
Right.
and what you like doing on a regular basis. Once you find that, it becomes a much easier process, because money irko, people irukangalo, that doesn't matter. You will keep doing that thing every day. Right? So for me it was videos. Right? Whether someone paid me to do videos for them or not, I would still make videos. I would still edit videos. I wake up in the morning, I want to shoot a video. So now converting that into a commercial element becomes much more easier for me. It's like நான் இன்னைக்கு போய் வீடியோ ஷூட் பண்ணுறேன், யாரோ எனக்கு பே பண்ணுறாங்க அதை ஷூட் பண்ணுறதுக்கு. எனக்கு பிடிச்சிருக்க திங் தான், நான் அவங்களுக்காக போய் ஷூட் பண்ணல. ஸோ அந்த திங் வந்துட்டு நம்ம கான்டென்ட் க்ரியேஷனில் வந்துட்டு we need to an individual needs to find out for themselves. And that road to discovering that, I think you have to be very self-aware in that process. You cannot just do it as it is. So for me it was like noting down all the smaller elements, not just thinking about videography and editing, but also thinking about everything that comes around it. So எப்படி நம்மளை பொசிஷன் பண்ணிக்கணும், what are the things that we should say no to, right? Even if there are certain commercial elements attached to it, you should be ready to say no to it, because it doesn't you don't stand for those values. Maybe those brands don't align with you. But the offer will be very tempting. But long term it will destroy you completely. நீங்கள் போட்ட ஒர்க்கெல்லாம் டிஸ்ட்ராய் பண்ணிடும். ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி திங்ஸ்லாம் நீங்கள் அவாய்ட் பண்ணணும். ஸோ இப்படி you have to find your way throughout this thing and go through the different phases of creating content, and then finally you land up on this one video which will just take off and take you to another level. Then you realize, oh okay, this is what I was meant to do, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So yeah.
So like you said, to sum it up, it's going to be that try everything. Okay, because that's when you'll end up finding that one particular thing that you can do consistently every single day, no matter the obstacles, right? And second is maintain the consistency. Without any procrastination. So do it, and keep trying until you succeed.
எஸ். அதோட வந்துட்டு இது வந்து ஆக்சுவலாக ஜென்ரலாக நிறைய பேர் சொல்கிறாங்க, கன்சிஸ்டண்ட்டாக இருங்க அண்ட் அது சக்ஸஸ் வர வரைக்கும் ட்ரை பண்ணுறங்க அப்படின்னு. பட் அந்த ப்ராசஸை வந்துட்டு ரொம்ப அவேராக பண்ணணும். அது ரொம்ப இம்பார்ட்டண்ட். ஏன்னா ஒரு திங் ஒர்க் ஆகாமல் இருக்கலாம். இப்போ நம்ம ஒரு வீடியோ போடுறோன்னா அந்த ஹோல் வீடியோ வந்துட்டு ஒரு 10 காம்பனன்ட்ஸ் இருக்குன்னு வச்சுக்கலாம். ஓகே, மேபி 8 காம்பனன்ட்ஸ் ஆர் நாட் ஒர்க்கிங். அதனால தான் that video didn't take off. But 2 things in that have worked. So you have to be aware that அந்த 2 things என்ன, because you have to take it and apply it in the next video. அப்படி தான் அந்த 10க்கும் you can reach. So 2 வந்துட்டு 3 ஆக்கலாம், 3 வந்து 4 ஆக்கலாம், அப்படி எடுத்துகிட்டு போகலாம். You cannot rebuild and go invent a new wheel again.
Exactly.
So அந்த awareness thing இருந்துச்சுன்னா இன்னும் ஃபாஸ்ட்டாக வந்து you can get to the point. And what I see very commonly is, எனக்கு இந்த மாதிரி lot of people text me, ask me, DM me asking editing tip or videography, இது எப்படி பண்ணுறீங்க, how do you shoot this, how do you shoot that. But more importantly, it's about that obsessive thing that I told you. You have to be obsessed with this particular thing. Like I think I need to tell this here. So once I moved out of my house to shoot these videos, first வீட்டில் தான் ஷூட் பண்ணுறோம். Then I moved out of my house because it was a huge hindrance to everyone in the house when we were shooting videos all day.
Lunch பண்ணனும், நீரஜ் என்ன பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கீங்க?
Exactly. So when I moved out, 2021 end I moved out. I have stayed in my studio the entire year.
Okay.
So because it's so much more convenient for me to stay there, shoot there, go to bed, just move out of that space. Because creative thing, you cannot put a timeline, a deadline on it. Maybe you get an idea sometimes at like 1 a.m. sometimes it's at like 7 p.m. So அந்த ப்ராசஸை வந்துட்டு அட்லீஸ்ட் பிகினிங் ஸ்டேஜஸில் ஆர்கானிக்காக வச்சுக்கிறதுக்காக, நாட் லைக் புட் லைக் டெட்லைன்ஸ் ஆன் கிரியேட்டிவிட்டி. ஐ ஹவ் ஜஸ்ட் சோஸ் டு லைக் ஸ்டே இன் மை ஸ்டுடியோ இட் செல்ஃப். அண்ட் even my friends find it like very weird that I'm doing this. But it takes that kind of like obsession and that kind of intensive work to create something new.
Understood. And I'd only say that all of this is really fruitful now, because on a consumer perspective, I truly did not see any such video elements or any the newness that you bring to the table. It just wasn't there. It just wasn't. COVID munadi, I haven't seen. There were video commercials that we see on TV also that were there on the gram. Content creators were putting it. Food bloggers were putting it. Okay, so there was like they were trying to reach out to the audience, brands, but seeing the elements that you bring in,
Yeah.
I feel very proud to see that this is matching our international standards. Yeah, like I have seen such international elements only, like let's say MasterChef when Jordan cooks in. Okay, like and the Mari elements, like it's really nice to see that a creator from here is, you know, matching those standards there.
Yeah.
Any great like appreciation or something that someone reached out to you appreciating and you really remember that?
I think one of my biggest inspirations, you know, in the Tamil content creation circle is Irfan.
Yeah.
And I've been watching his videos for the longest time. எப்போனா நான் வந்து டென்னிஸ் விளையாடிட்டு இருக்கும்போதுலேருந்து ஐம் வாட்சிங் ஹிஸ் வீடியோஸ் 2016-17 when he started out. And he always said consistency அதுதான் இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் இந்த இதில். பட் அதுக்குள்ளே போகும்போது தான் நம்மளுக்கு தெரியுது அதோட இம்பார்ட்டன்ஸ் வந்துட்டு அது ரொம்ப கஷ்டம், how much effort he is putting into it அப்படின்ட்டு. And I tried actually reaching out to him many times. நான் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ண போதே because I was like he's in the food space, I'm making videos, எதா பண்ணலாம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு. But he's obviously like busy and things like that. But he himself texted me randomly once and he said like your videos are damn cool abdinte. So that is one thing that I clearly remember. Apart from that, few of the actors have messaged me, like Rashmika. And recently I did a video with Samira Reddy also.
So I was going to ask that. I'm like, how did that go?
So அவங்களும் முன்னாடியே மெசேஜ் பண்ணிட்டாங்க ஒரு 1-2 years back மெசேஜ் பண்ணி, you know, videos are very fresh, not seen something like this. It's very interesting to watch your entire you know, flow of the video அப்படின்னு சொல்லி they message. These are the few people டக்குன்னு கேட்டனால எனக்கு இதுதான் மைண்டுக்கு வருது.
No, that's very sweet actually. Like you said, Irfan's also like he's managed to like pull out more than he's been putting out video for 8,000 videos now, if I'm not wrong. I think that is what he mentioned.
2,000 something days he's been uploading on YouTube.
Sorry, my bad. 2,000 consistent
days.
He's been,
yeah.
And this he mentioned when he was opening his new studio. And he had some elements there. Like that is an inspiration. Bro. Like complete inspiration that was. When we talk about budding content creators, because like even you mentioned in one of your interviews that first one they tell doctor avno engineer avno appdin solren, but then right now 1 out of every 5 student they are really aspiring to become a content creator. Right? And this mostly happens because they see the glam side of content creation. Okay, and not the rough patch of it. Correct. So maybe from your perspective, being the creative director, what are all the obstacles that you face in your day-to-day journey? Maybe that.
Now I'll just explain how the thing is right now. The content creation space is right now. Right? Every platform is ready to push your content out. If you're consistent, if you're putting it out, you will get the views. Right? There's no doubt about that. It will hit the right audience if the algorithm recognizes that you are into this particular kind of videos. Understood. Right? So if you're doing food videos, if you do 10 videos, the algorithm will understand that இவங்க வந்து ஃபுட் பற்றி தான் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காங்க, and it will start showing it to more number of people.
Got it.
But because it's easy to get numbers, everybody is also getting into it. Right? But we have to focus, an individual, whoever is getting into content creation has to know that getting into it is, you know, because of the platform, it's boosting you, it's getting you, you know, visibility and things like that. But to stay there, you need to develop an individual skill over a period. You know, that is like very, very crucial. Because the numbers and the fame that comes with content creation, I think that's very short-lived. It's still the next trend or next famous person comes up.
Maybe to term it up, you'd say like have your own USP. Yeah, because that is what அதுதான் வந்து உங்களுக்கு லாங் ரன்ல சஸ்டெயின் பண்ண வைக்கும்.
Yes. So ஒரு USP இருக்கணும், and ஸ்கில் வந்து கண்டிப்பாக நீங்கள் டெவலப் பண்ணுற மாதிரி ஒரு ஸ்கில் வந்து இருக்கணும். லைக் யூ மைட் பி அ கிரேட் டான்சர் அண்ட் தட்ஸ் வை யூ கெட் பாப்புலர் on reels, but you have to develop that dance in like so many different ways over the years for people to stay attached, people to stay, people to root for you, basically, right? So that is very important. So developing a skill is hard, right? So that is the hard part of content creation. So getting into it is easy, but staying there, the hard part is நீங்கள் அந்த ஸ்கில்லோ இல்லை உங்களோட யூஎஸ்பியை வந்துட்டு கான்ஸ்டன்ட்லி இவால்வ் பண்ணிகிட்டே இருக்கணும். ஆஸ் அ பர்சனும் நீங்கள் இவால்வ் ஆகணும், ஸ்கில்லும் டெவலப் ஆகணும், for you to stay relevant for a longer period. Yeah.
Because even as consumers, stagnancy gets boring. If the content creator is going to be producing அதே content அவங்க திருப்பி அரைச்சமாவே அரைச்சிட்டே இருந்தாங்கன்னா it gets boring and we switch to another content creator. Correct? So only like you said, if you can update it, because market always wants something new. புதுசா என்ன பண்றீங்க, புதுசா என்ன சேலஞ்ச் பண்றீங்க, புதுசா என்ன எலிமெண்ட் கொண்டு வரீங்க. So make sense.
And பிளாட்ஃபார்மும் சேஞ்ச் ஆகிட்டே இருக்குல்ல.
கரெக்ட்.
சடனாக யூடியூப் லாங் ஃபார்ம் தான் இருந்துச்சு, இப்போ ஷார்ட்ஸ் வந்துருச்சு. சடனாக டிக்டாக் இருந்துச்சு, இப்போ ரீல்ஸ் ஆயிடுச்சு. இப்போ வெர்டிக்கலில் எல்லாருமே பார்த்துட்டு இருக்கோம். லாங் ஃபார்ம் வந்து அவ்வளோவா பார்க்கறது இல்லை. ஒன்லி இஃப் இட் இஸ் லைக் பாட்காஸ்ட் ஆர் சம்திங் லைக் தட் பீப்புள் ஆர் ப்ரிஃபரிங் டு வாட்ச். ஸோ இதுவும் சேஞ்ச் ஆகிட்டே இருக்கும்போது
and you have to adapt to the dynamicity.
ஸோ பேக் கான்டென்ட் கிரியேஷனோட லாங் டேர்ம் இதில் வந்துட்டு என்ன ஆகும்னா, ஒரு பாயிண்ட்டுக்கு அப்புறம் உங்களுக்கு நீங்கள் பண்ணுறதே போர் அடிக்க ஆரம்பிச்சிருச்சுன்னா அது பண்ணாமல் போயிடுவீங்க. கன்சிஸ்டன்சி இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் போயிடும். அந்த கன்சிஸ்டன்சி வந்துட்டு எடுத்துக்க முடியாது. அண்ட் நீங்கள் கன்சிஸ்டண்ட்டாக இல்லைனா another person is there for the platform to like show to the people.
Understood.
So அவங்க உள்ள வந்துருவாங்க. So this is how it's like constantly going. So you have to keep evolving. There's no other way. பண்ணி தான் ஆகணும். Yeah.
What's your plan next?
So இவ்வளோ நாளாக வந்துட்டு we've stayed on Instagram. We've showcased all our videos on the vertical, in the vertical space. But I want to start, I've already shot a few videos which are for Google ads.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, and we also got one of our ads which got featured in a theater.
Really?
Yeah.
Which brand was that?
For MTR.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is it the gulab jamun one?
No. MTR has a gulab jamun, like they're very popular for gulab jamun. But last year they launched Malabar Parota and Akki Roti.
Okay.
So these were like two new ready-to-eat products that they launched. And we did the video shoot for those two products, like the launch video.
Okay.
And these videos were featured in a theater across Karnataka, yeah. So that was a big breakthrough already, because usually theaterல போடுற adல வந்துட்டு there will be a very popular face, because you're going to a theater, right? You're watching a movie. The best way to run an ad there is to run an ad with a model,
or an
actor who's very popular in that region.
Correct.
But that got disrupted with our video.
Okay.
So that's how I look at it.
Okay.
Because product centrica mattum irukra or video full credits to actually MTR for taking that initiative, because without them it's not going to happen, right? So they looked for something new in the market to help differentiate their brand, and they came to us. We had a long discussion on how we can create this, and we created it, we gave it to them, and they featured it in the theater. So that was a big thing. Then I understood that there's a lot of scope in the video production side, in the ad side, and not just the content creation side. So that's where I'm moving towards now.
Great.
To create ads, to create maybe some kind of short film kind of things, right? So short films are not like, I'm not saying short films, but create a more of இப்போ நம்ம டிவிலலாம் பார்த்துருப்போம்ல ஆட்ஸ், அந்த மாதிரி சோஷியல் மீடியாவுக்கு எப்படி எங்கேஜிங்காக எடுத்துகிட்டு வர்றது. ஸோ மேபி வித் கேரக்டர்ஸ், வித் பீப்புள் இன் த ஆட் மோர். Yeah. And adding all my effects
of
to
course.
it. Yeah.
Of course. I definitely like to see like Neeraj being the Zepto guy and then like doing the deliveries. And then, but you know, every time I think of your videos, like you said, you mentioned that one of the most challenging videos that you had was that mango mojito one.
Yeah.
Right. And like you had to do with the controller, the toy car
Yeah.
that was there. It was just brilliant. Like
Thank you. Thank
this
you.
was a little out of context, but then I just had to say that was brilliant.
Yeah,
Like that
yeah.
choice, that vision.
Yeah.
I'm like ஒரு சில வாட்டி ரூம் போட்டு யோசிப்பாங்களோ இதெல்லாம் அப்படின்னு இருக்கும்.
Room போட்டு தான் யோசிக்கிறோம் actually. Actually, that video that you're talking about is our most popular video.
More than 15 million views.
Yeah, 15 million. Collectively, it has more than 35 million because of the BTS and all the other content that we did, with that video. But this, in 2023, we did another video with a helicopter.
Yeah.
So
Are you talking about the Pani Puri one?
Pani Puri one. Yeah. So Pani Puri, we shot that video completely, but there was no excitement when I watched it.
Okay.
I felt like it was very flat. It was very normal. Then we were like, okay, இப்போ வந்து இது exciting ஆக்கிறதுக்கு what can we do? Then we looked at so many options. Should we do animation? Should we do, should we bring in a car again and do something? We were looking at different options. And our goal for that video was to align it with the Jawan movie release.
Okay.
So that it gets that extra push also, right? Then we landed up on this like drone come helicopter kind of thing. And I was like, okay, why not try it out? Right?
How many puris did you waste that day?
Way too many. We actually broke 2 helicopters also in that process.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, so we bought it and we can't fly it indoors actually. It's actually very difficult to control. So it'll just go hit against the wall and that's it. It's done. 2-3 helicopter வாங்கி அதெல்லாம் உடஞ்சு then finally we landed on this particular helicopter which is like fairly easier to control. But video எடுத்துடலாம். It should make sense, no? Like it should look good also. It should create that impact. Right? So அப்படிலாம் வச்சு பார்க்கும்போது this was the most complicated video. But worth the effort. Yeah, because it got recognized on national press completely. Every newspaper and every YouTube channel was like writing or talking about it.
Yeah.
So worth the effort.
So satisfaction with quality and not compromise. Yeah. I think that is what I say. Each and everything that you keep talking about, I think that was like you're not here for compromise, but you're here to deliver more than what's best possible.
Yes. Actually, when this video was getting delayed and we couldn't post, we went and created other videos that we could keep posting so that the posting cycle doesn't get stopped. Because this took like 2.5 weeks to complete. Every day doing little by little. The recipe process is fairly easy, straightforward. But in the helicopter element, animation elements, it takes lot of time.
Okay.
Then we have to package it also in a way that if people consume பண்றதுக்கு it should be not like too much happening. இப்போ ஹெலிகாப்டர் வருதுன்னு எக்ஸ்பெக்ட் பண்ண மாட்டாங்க. பட் வந்தாலும் அவங்களுக்கு அது ஒரு நல்ல எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸாக இருக்கணும் பார்க்கும்போது. It shouldn't look like it's a misfit in that thing. So that took lot of time. But அந்த டைம்லையும் we can't not post or not be on the platform, right? So we went and created so many more videos and kept posting so that அந்த டைமே was like
time fill ஆயிடுச்சு. But I hardly think, until you would have mentioned in the video create பண்ணது like a 30-45 second reel create பண்ணதுக்கு 2.5 weeks ஆயிருக்கு அப்படின்னு சொல்லும்போது I hardly think people know about this.
Yes.
Even your BTS வந்துட்டு behind the scenes பார்க்கும்போதே வந்துட்டு இருக்கும், oh my god இவ்வளோ வேலை நடக்குது பின்னாடி அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு. பட் அதுலேயும் 2.5 weeks போயிருக்குன்னா this requires a whole another level of dedication, man.
எல்லா வாட்டியும் வீடியோ ஷூட் பண்ணும்போது BTS ரோல் பண்ணிடுவோம். அந்த கான்டென்ட் இருக்கும்.
That's one more reason I think people really like connecting to you.
Yeah.
That's because அவங்க வந்து say நம்மளே அந்த மொமெண்ட்ல ப்ரெசென்ட்டாக இருக்கோம் அப்படின்னு அவங்களுக்கு தோணும்.
Yes.
That like we are watching the process and then cut to the final video.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really
so அந்த BTS ரோல் பண்ணி எடுக்கிற கான்டென்ட்ல பெஸ்ட் பிட்ஸ் மட்டும் நம்ம கட் பண்ணிட்டு we'll just put it out for everyone to experience that thing, right? And I also enjoy that thing because that's the only way we are able to share something with the audience. என்னோட வீடியோல ஃபர்ஸ்ட்ல இருந்து இப்போ வரைக்கும் லாங்குவேஜ் இது கிடையாது. நான் பேசினதே கிடையாது. நானும் அவங்க பாட்டியும் பேசின மாதிரி எதுவுமே கிடையாது. So எல்லாமே we have to communicate visually. ஸோ அது வந்து ஒரு பெரிய சேலஞ்ச். ஸோ அந்த ஈச் அண்ட் எவ்ரி செகண்ட் இன் தட் வீடியோ ஹேஸ் டு பி வேல்யூபிள்.
Yeah.
So that's what we try to do. So
Makes
even
sense.
if we take a long time to do it, it's worth it. Because even the people who are following us, they really love these kind of videos. So avungalukkaga we can definitely go out of the way to create these things. Yeah.
You know, when you were talking now about newspapers like Kavarachu, press
Yeah.
like Kavarachu, and all those things, when you decided to make this switch from tennis to this one, what was your parents' reaction to it? How did your family react to it? That's part A of the question. And part B, cut to chase, now that you're being recognized in all these medias and like everywhere, how do they feel?
So when I started out and I was making the switch,
Yeah.
no one really understood what it was. No one really, because I myself didn't understand. Like, how can I explain this to somebody else?
Makes sense. Yeah.
It's very difficult, right? And I think generally parents will tell the safest thing that
Go
you,
to abroad education.
yes, or just join the business
the
and
business,
andamari something. But you know, because of my tennis background, I was like, நான் வந்துட்டு இப்போ I told you, right, கோச் ஆகிறதுக்கு பார்த்துட்டு இருந்தேன், and இது US இதுக்காக பார்த்துட்டு இருந்தேன், எல்லாமே ரிசர்ச் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கும்போது parallelly only I was doing this also.
Got it.
ஸோ எல்லாமே ட்ரை பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தனால தே saw that okay, he's not wasting his time, he's putting in the effort with whatever he has right now. ஸோ ஃபோனும் லேப்டாப் இருக்கும்போது, ஒரு ஃபோன் மட்டும் இருக்கும்போது ஃபோன்லேயே எடிட் பண்ணிருந்தேன். தென் ஃபோன் லேப்டாப் இருக்கும்போது ஃபோன் லேப்டாப்பில் எடிட் பண்ணிருந்தேன். Then I rented a camera from my friend to shoot on camera. So that's my first camera experience also. And so they are seeing all this happening. But நான் ரொம்ப அவங்ககிட்ட இதை பற்றி சொல்லவே மாட்டேன்.
Okay.
We should do it.
Work hard in silence and let your success make the noise.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, we can say that. So starting la, I can't go and tell them, you know, I'm going to set up a studio, right? I have this vision, let me do it. Nobody's going to buy that, right? Nobody's going to believe that. And I think even as a creator, you shouldn't think that only if you have the biggest setup in the world, you'll start.
Right.
You have to start with what you have. That's like super crucial, because starting, when you start early, you get to know the hurdles also very early. You get to know all the problems very, very early. So நான் வீட்டில் ஷூட் பண்ணுவேன். என்னோட ஃப்ரெண்ட் வாஸ் ரன்னிங் அ டிஜிட்டல் மார்க்கெட்டிங் ஏஜென்சி at that time. After his work hours, I'd go sit there and do the editing part.
Okay.
So he'll also sit with me. He'll be doing some design work, I'll be editing or learning editing from him. This is how it was going on. Then I started shooting videos in my room. ஸோ அந்த டைமில் தான் மை பேரண்ட்ஸ் வர் லைக், என்ன பண்ணிகிட்டு இருக்கான், எப்பவுமே வந்துட்டு ரூம் லாக் பண்ணிட்டு உள்ள வீடியோ ஷூட் பண்ணிகிட்டே இருக்கான், லைக் வாட் இஸ் he really doing? When they really saw that there is a difference, you know, in these videos, is when brands started approaching and telling, can you make a video for us for social media?
Okay.
அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு. And initially நம்ம ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் தானே கேட்பாங்க. ஸோ லாக்டவுன் அப்போ லாட் ஆஃப் பீப்புள் ஸ்டார்டட் லைக் தேர் ஓன் பிஸ்னஸஸ், ஸ்மால் பிஸ்னஸஸ்,
Cloud kitchens அந்த மாதிரிலாம் நிறையா.
எக்ஸாக்ட்லி. ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ண ஒரு பிஸ்னஸ் சேஃப் பி அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு, தே பேஸ்ட் அவுட் ஆஃப் பெங்களூர். ஸோ தே யூஸ் டு ப்ளே டென்னிஸ் வித் மீ.
Okay.
ஸோ அவங்க வந்து சொன்னாங்க, வி வாட்ச்ட் சம் ஆஃப் யுவர் வீடியோஸ் தட் யூ ஹவ் அப்லோடட், கேன் யூ ஷூட் அ வீடியோ ஃபார் அஸ் அப்படின்னு கேட்டாங்க. I didn't have any experience of shooting for a brand or taking that responsibility. So I told them, okay, I'll give it a shot. I'll try whatever I can. So there is no idea or anything. No time limit, அதெல்லாம் கிடையாது. ஷூட் பண்ணலாம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி, no process, nothing. But just got into it and did one video for them.
Okay.
They loved it.
Okay.
So they said, let's do 3 more videos.
Okay.
So we did another 3 more videos.
Okay.
And as I
And
was
slowly
doing,
the monetization part started coming in.
yeah, I mean they were paying me for that.
Got
But very enna solradhu,
Nominal fee.
yeah, normal. I mean they paid me 1,500 rupees to shoot an ad for them.
Got it.
Right? So starting stage la, I did not expect money as a big thing. For me it was learn பண்ணலாம். இப்போ ஒரு ப்ராடக்ட், I think this is very important for like budding creators also. When somebody is approaching you for a skill that you have and they are like, okay, இப்போ நீங்கள் ஒரு photo, you're a photographer or a videographer, and they say, you know, can you shoot this particular thing for me, right? And you're very new, you're getting into it right now, do it.
Correct.
You know, when you do it, what happens is on the time that 1,000 rupees or even if they're paying you 2,000 rupees, 10,000 rupees, it's not going to make a difference in your life.
Right.
But you will get to learn.
Yeah.
ஸோ அவங்க வந்து ஒரு ரெஸ்ட்ரிக்ஷன் வைப்பாங்க.
கண்டிப்பா.
இந்த டைம்குள்ளே எனக்கு வேணும், இந்த லான்ச் நடக்குது, இந்த மாதிரி வேணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு. அப்போ நம்ம என்ன பண்ணுவோம், நம்ம போய் ரிசர்ச் பண்ணுவோம். We will learn a special skill for this. So we will learn, you know, how to deliver something on time, which are all responsibilities that we are shouldering now.
Right.
If that is not there, we can create a video for like 200 days also.
Correct.
And in the creative field, a lot of people get stuck in that.
Yeah.
Creating the best video for like endless period and it never comes out. So when brands started approaching me and doing it, I didn't look at the money factor, but what are the guidelines they are putting?
True.
What are the kind of things that they are telling me? Because each brand was starting to tell different things. இவங்க இப்படி கேட்டாங்கன்னா இன்னொருத்தவங்க அப்படி கேட்குறாங்க. And அதுக்கு நடுவில் we develop our skill.
Yeah.
Because every video can't look the same. It can't be in the same environment.
Yeah.
So this is how I started improving one by one.
True.
Right? So then my parents are looking at me like, why is he buying chart papers endlessly? Why is he buying photography backgrounds? இதுதான் வந்துட்டு ரெகுலராக நடந்துகிட்டே இருக்கும். நான் பாட்டு வாங்குவேன், நான் பாட்டு போவேன், ஷூட் பண்ணுவேன். And then when it got quite challenging, then I started telling my grandmom and mom, can you help me out? இது ஹெல்ப் பண்ணுங்க, இதுக்கு ஹெல்ப் பண்ணுங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்லி. Then during the second lockdown is when me and my grandmom were like, சரி நம்ம ஷூட் பண்ணலாம். ஏன்னா வெளியே போய் ஷூட் பண்ணுற ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி இஸ் நவ் கான் பிகாஸ் லாக்டவுன்னால வி கான் கோ அவுட். பட் இப்போ நம்ம வீட்டில் வந்து கண்டிப்பாக எவ்வளோ வீடியோ வேணாலும் ஷூட் பண்ணலாம். லெட்ஸ் ஜஸ்ட் ஷூட் நவ். ஸோ தட்ஸ் வாட் ஹேப்பன்ட். இப்போ they are like very happy that I found my passion. They do not look at it as you're successful, not successful. அந்த மாதிரி ஈக்குவேஷனே, அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு டிஸ்கஷனுக்குள்ளே நாங்கள் we never go. You found what you love doing. Now we know that you will continue doing this. Now, but you only have to figure it out.
Yeah.
It's on you to figure it out. Whatever mistakes, whatever things you're going to do right, it's all on you.
Yeah.
So very very similar to my tennis thing. Tennisல எவ்வளோ ஃப்ரீடம் கொடுத்தாங்களோ அதே லெவல் ஆஃப் ஃப்ரீடம் தான் இதுலையும்.
But it's also very difficult to find parents like that, like who are like, they're silent but they're very supportive. Yeah, they let you explore what you have. So பெருமைன்னு ஒரு கண்டிப்பாக இருக்கும். But then also the thing that சரி, he's found his passion, like let him do his own thing right now. That's also very nice thing.
இப்போ நம்ம இந்த பிராண்ட்ஸ்க்காகலாம் ஷூட் பண்ணுறோம்ல, இதெல்லாம் நம்ம சின்ன வயசுலேருந்தே பார்த்துட்டு வர பிராண்ட்ஸ்லாம். இப்போ we did a பொங்கல் ad for A2B அடையார் ஆனந்தபவனுக்கு பண்ணோம். அதெல்லாம் பார்க்கும்போது my parents are so happy because it's such a well recognized brand
and close to our brand. Like சின்ன வயசுல அங்க போய் தான் முறுக்கு வாங்கிப்போம். Even now I think we are the consumers, we buy products on making a video for them. It's a huge deal.
So அவங்களுக்கும் வந்துட்டு, you know, to share it with other family members and things like that, it's a very like proud moment. So just like, you know, how you were telling that the mari initial stages don't expect monetary, but like your whole focus should be grab all the opportunities that you can. Or opportunity vanda known mattum sollidadinga, just go there, put your time and you will definitely come up like money oda veetukku varinglo illiyo, you'll definitely come up with a basket of learnings. Okay? Definitely.
And this was so true because I relate to it in my MCing journey that I did. I started out when I was in college. I've done more than 500 events now. Whoa. Right? So being that first, I think 100 events, 120 events, I did not charge a penny. My whole intention was, I want to go onto that stage. I like talking on the mic. You're giving me that opportunity. But dealing with each client was a different experience. And oh boy, let me tell you, events go like... the agenda, they never go as per the agenda. Like they will tell Mr. Ramamurthy is next and they'll call Satyanarayan Murthy. And I'm announcing for them. And then I'm like, they're like, no, he's not present. Call another. I am like, the munnadi salamatingla sir. And then like you have to like samalify a lot in the mic. Fillers irkom. The audio will stop working. You have to get down to the audience, talk to them. Idla vandittu you can't expect only unless you get down on the stage, do the groundwork, that's when you learn. That's when you do it. With experience, otherwise you cannot reach the level. Another thing is, இப்போ இந்த சோஷியல் மீடியா சைடுக்கே நம்ம வரலாம். கான்டென்ட் கிரியேஷனில்
நம்ம ஒரு வீடியோ போடும்போது when we are uploading a video, that's when a brand is seeing us or a client is seeing us for whatever we are showcasing.
Yeah.
Correct? And of course an audience member is also seeing us. இப்போ இதுலேருந்து வர lead you have generated because of this one video that you put so much of effort into creating. Now if you look at only the monetary thing, you're going to say, this is not for me, this is too much of, back and forth is happening. Instead, if you're looking at it as a lead and you're thinking that, okay, this is the monetary compensation for my previous video, right? Then it becomes a much easier decision to make for you to say yes to that.
Actually.
Because if you say no to that, or if you're not able to convert that, then you have to wait to make another great video, hope it goes viral, and then again generate a lead.
Yeah.
So with the distribution, we have to be smart in the way that we approach this.
No, makes absolute sense. What do you think is like the potential or like the future of content creation as a whole, social media space, content creation space?
Okay. I have a very funny, I don't know if it's funny, but I have a very I'm very
opinion?
unpopular opinion. I like to be optimistic.
Okay.
But this space is going to saturate, is what
true.
I think. See, the platform has provided unbelievable visibility to everybody. Everybody is going to become a content creator at some point, right? Everybody is going to have like 1 lakh followers, 2 lakh followers. Entry level, that barrier, right, is quite easy right now. You can get in and get to like 100k, 50k quite easily.
Got it.
So the saturation point is, we are nearing the saturation point probably in a year or so.
Okay.
Right? So in the space vandute, unless you are able to again develop your skill, develop something, create something new, you have to now be, what is the saying, be uncommon, no, be uncommon again amongst uncommon people.
Understood.
Right? Like for example, how do you say, like in sport it's very easy to say, relate to this thing, right?
Okay.
So you're playing at a certain level, right? And then you get to the highest league, but you have to be a Messi or Ronaldo in that league. So you have to be uncommon amongst already uncommon people,
Right.
who are already so hardworking. They're already the best in their country, but they're all coming together in a club. And then you find Ronaldo who's better in that also, who's the best in that also.
Correct.
So I feel content creation is also like that.
Correct.
Right? Now when everybody is able to become a content creator, everybody is able to pull in the numbers. Now how do you differentiate yourself again?
Correct.
So that's going to be the next challenge.
Correct. Like this is like a quote that Mathria once said, that be somebody in the crowd of anybody.
Yeah.
Your choice. You can be anybody or you can be a somebody. It's on you. You choose. So got it. But I'd honestly agree with your opinion. It is getting saturated, but I'm seeing this like niche by niche. Okay. First one, right now, like the most classic example that I have in front of me is the food blogging. Okay, first one nariya per illa. Okay, like it started with Irfan, but then there were like a lot of nice popular content creators like New to Chennai came in, Begum's Choice came in, and they are still able to survive because they are bringing something or the other new every single time on their table. Okay, but are they in the micro bloggers, or like we call nano bloggers, that has really saturated the market. First, if there were like 25 of them, 50 of them, right now there are like 100 to 150 of them. So a day restaurant is being reviewed by 20, 30, 50 of them. Okay, so even the audience perspective, I was also into it until at a point of time I decided that okay, it's getting very saturated. I don't think there's anything new that I can bring to the table. Let me just switch to whole another niche. Okay, that's one thing why I stopped.
But எல்லாருமே பண்ணலாம், அதுல ஒன்றும் there is no தப்பு இல்ல.
But unless you have a newness, audience is not going to relate to you or watch your videos. So don't expect something to go like boom.
I'd like to disagree on that point, mainly because நீங்கள் வந்து இப்போ for example, let's just say a new person entering this field wants to start in the food blogging space.
Got it.
They're like, நான் food blogger ஆனேன் because there are so many people who are doing this. Start பண்ணியாச்சு. video will blow up at some point. Regular பண்ணிருக்காங்கன்னா you will get that visibility. But monetizing it is what has become the bigger challenge today.
Got it.
ஏன்னா so many options are there. நீங்க யூனிக்காக இருந்தா if you are thinking from a view perspective, you can get the views. You can still get the views. Anybody can get the views. பட் நீங்கள் சொன்ன மாதிரி 5 people அந்த அந்த ஒரு ஃபேமஸான ஒரு ரெஸ்டாரண்ட்டை ஒரு நியூ ரெஸ்டாரண்ட்டை வந்து ரிவ்யூ பண்ணுறாங்க அப்படின்னா the views are going to be split now. ஒரே ஆள் இருந்தபோது 1 million views அவங்களுக்கு மட்டும் வருதுன்னா இப்போ 5 அது ஸ்ப்ளிட் ஆகிடும். அப்படி வச்சுக்கலாம். ஆர் யார் நல்லா ப்ரெசென்ட் பண்ணுறாங்களோ அவங்களுக்கு வந்துட போகுது. அப்படி வச்சுக்கலாம். பட் அதை மானிட்டரியாக நீங்கள் கன்வெர்ட் பண்ணணுன்னா ஒரு ப்ரமோஷன் நடக்கணும்ல. தட் ரெஸ்டாரண்ட் ஷுட் பி வில்லிங் டு pay X person to promote something. Right? Or you have to be able to start your own line, like business kaha you have to be able to start your own product or service or something later on.
Correct.
அது வந்து பண்றது இன்னைக்கு ரொம்ப டிஃபிகல்ட் ஆயிடுச்சு. நம்பர் பண்றது டிஃபிகல்ட் இல்லைன்னு தான் நான் நினைக்கிறேன்.
Okay.
This is my thing. Yeah.
But what do you think, like consumer perspective, right? So if at all they keep seeing the same place again and again by different people, they are getting agitated.
Yeah.
They're like, இது போட்ட கான்டென்ட்டே திருப்பி எல்லாரும் போடுறாங்க.
Yeah, it's true, but it's getting shown to newer people தானே. I feel reels and all, like for example shorts and reels, நம்ம ஆடியன்ஸ்க்கே போய் ரீச் ஆகிறது ரொம்ப கம்மி. நம்மள ஃபாலோ பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கவங்களே like it reaches only 20-30% தான் நம்மள follow. 30% of the people who are following us only get to watch our newest video. Rest everything goes to like new people only. So that we can pull in more new followers. அந்த மாதிரி. Probably those people have watched this video on somebody else's page. But if you do it long enough, you can become someone in that space number wise.
Got it.
But அதை நீங்க
monetization,
I mean you're spending so much of your time to create this video, go somewhere, eat the food, bring back the content, edit it, put it out endlessly. You cannot just do it without any monetary thing, right? So அது கன்வெர்ட் பண்ணலான்னு வர டைமில் அங்கே ஒரு ஹர்டில் வரதுக்கு பெரிய சான்ஸ் இருக்குது.
Understood.
Yeah.
Understood. This is common with I would say not just food, but then I think every other popular niche out there, like if at all it has to be like fashion or lifestyle. So among every niche, I think this one is a common perspective. I would say.
Yeah. It's very common. இந்த thing can happen. ஒரு niche saturate ஆயிடுச்சுன்னா நீங்கள் எவ்வளோ யூனிக்காக இருந்தாலும் உங்களுக்கு வியூஸ் வரும், பட் உங்களுக்கு அதுலேருந்து when it comes to making money, it will be very difficult.
Correct. Yeah. Okay. While we've spoken about your journey, newspaper varno tech, okay. News media la varno, channels la varno, okay, tech. Social medias la, people should recognize tech. But what has been your core memory that and வந்து நான் ஜெயிச்சிட்ட மாறா அப்படின்னு அந்த that dialogue, right, from Surya's movie? What is your moment?
So ஒரு 2 years ago when I was doing this and my page really took off, right? And on the time la vandute I told you, like I was debating whether I should keep doing this or should I start my own tutorial page and things like that. Appo vandute I was like, okay, I'll just keep doing this for a longer period till I get a hang of it, because I believe that ஒருத்தங்களுக்கு நம்ம ஒன்று கற்றுக் கொடுக்குறோம் அப்படின்னா நம்மளுக்கு அதில் ஃபுல் இன்டெப்த் நாலேஜ் இருக்கணும்.
கரெக்ட்.
இல்லைனா ஜஸ்ட் ஃபார் த மானிட்டரி திங் வி ஷுட் நாட் கோ அண்ட் டூ திஸ். நம்மளுக்கு ரீச் வருது, நிறைய பேர் கேட்குறாங்கன்னுக்காக மட்டும் பண்ணக்கூடாது. அதோட இன் அண்ட் அவுட் நம்மளுக்கு தெரிஞ்சிருக்கணும். நம்ம வந்துட்டு அப்போ தான் இன்னொருத்தங்களுக்கு அவங்க ஒரு டிஃபிகல்ட் பாயிண்ட்டுக்கு வரும்போது we can guide them through that, right? ஸோ எனக்கு வந்துட்டு அந்த கோர்ஸ் ஒன்று டெவலப் பண்ணணுன்னு ஐ வாஸ் திங்கிங் ஃபார் த லாங்கஸ்ட் டைம். த பிளான் வாஸ் லேட் அவுட் அண்ட் வி ஸ்டார்டட் அன் அதர் பேஜ் அண்ட் ஐ வென்ட் த்ரூ தட் என்டையர் ப்ராசஸ் மெயின்லி பிகாஸ் ஐ ஃபெல்ட் சம்வேர் மிட் ஆஃப் லாஸ்ட் இயர் that I had a very good portfolio and I had gone through some challenges also in terms of dealing with clients, building a team, building a studio in the marila. So I felt like I was in a good place to share this knowledge with somebody else and to help them build this career. Because there is a lot of people get misguided also and எது பண்ணணும் எது பண்ணக்கூடாதுன்னு தெரியாது. வியூஸ் நிறைய பேருக்கு எடுத்துகிட்டு வர தெரியும், பட் அதை மானிட்டைஸ் பண்ண தெரியாது. ஸ்கில் வைஸ் ஒருத்தங்க ரொம்ப சுப்பீரியராக இருப்பாங்க, பட் அதை எப்படி பொசிஷன் பண்ணணும்னு தெரியாது. இந்த மாதிரி நிறைய சேலஞ்சஸ் இருக்குது. ஸோ இதெல்லாமே கன்சாலிடேட் பண்ணி I wanted to share this knowledge through my lens and through my experience. So this was the plan. So your, like you asked, my Jaichita Mara, that moment will be when I am able to help other creators and other people who are interested in this field also generate revenue, also generate and some kind of visibility for themselves, bring out their talent and showcase it to the right people. So this is what I am moving towards. But it all has to, it can be done only in its own time. So it requires that time, and I'm very, very careful about that. So I don't want to like do it too fast and things like that.
அது நடக்கும் போது I'll be in your comment section and I'll be like, நீ ஜெயிச்சிட்ட மாறா.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's really nice na, because நான் usually இந்த question கேட்கும் போது people usually reflect upon their past and they tell me something from it. But this is the first time I'm seeing someone is like, அது பண்ணும் போது I'll tell like, okay, this will be my na ஜெயிச்சிட்ட மாறா moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's I want to create an impact and inspire people. These are two things that I want to do. I can inspire them through the content that I'm doing right now, but the impact can be only created through knowledge sharing. And knowledge should be transferred in a very responsible and careful way. It should not be done in an erratic way where you're just doing it for the monetary gain. So once everything is ready, everybody will know about it.
I really wish the best for you. Impact and inspire. I think already a lot of it is being done. People who've closely followed your journey are really inspired. Like the minute I came, I've been watching your videos, like I mentioned, since lockdown, right? Ever since you started. Correcta on the Instagram algorithm work, it showed on my feed and I'm like, this is genius. I need to know because it's really fascinating because I connect more with stories. And Andamari, it was your BTS honestly that got me more connected. I have really poor knowledge about in the tech stuff, eppadi lighting eppadi work agum, cable eppadi no. So but then it was the BTS that really got me caught my eye, and then of course seeing Party in the videos, she has a special love. That's how I started following, but ever since and only when I got to know, I think from someone's interview, that you were playing tennis first and then you got into this, I'm like, bro, that requires a lot of guts. Let me tell you, it's like very difficult because there's also this hustle culture. I'm sure you would have also thought about it. Seri rendume oredia pannalam, we'll also do coaching, we'll also do video editing, and mari irukum. That being said, you want to get back to tennis anytime in the future?
I don't think I'll get back into playing professional tennis. That ship has sailed definitely for me. But I would play tennis recreationally. It's just that I have not been able to go back to it because there are a lot of emotions attached to it. So the last day that I played tennis was March 23rd, 2020. And after that, I've not played. Like, I've not picked up the racket. I've not gone next to anything related to tennis. I play other sports, like I work out, I play badminton, all these things. But tennis is something that I've still not gathered the courage to again go and play for some reason. So I'm just holding it.
What you say.
Yeah. So there's a lot of emotion attached to that, and all that energy is now, all my energy now is going into my video aspect of it, and I just don't want to get it all mixed up.
Understood.
So I'm just leaving that to the side for now.
Yeah. I hope you do that too. Because
I will definitely at some point.
It being such a major part of your childhood, teenage, and growing up. Maybe sometime in the future. But I hope things align. Destiny is also a really big factor here.
True.
Things align and you somehow just get back. Even if it's like starting your own academy. Maybe somehow.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen, right?
Anything
but
can happen.
I really hope that happens. Well, so we are heading towards the end of the video. Sure. And there's this one segment that I do with all my guests. Okay. There's this brand called Zenspire. This is not paid or promoted, but it's a mere barter deal. That's because they manufacture journals. Okay. I'm someone who does take mental health seriously, and I strongly advocate for the same. Being the case, seeing the journey that you've had also, one, let me tell you, I have a very strong mental health. Like, battling all those things is a huge deal, like huge respect to that. They have 3 journals. One is a manifestation journal, one is a gratitude journal, and one is a who am I journal.
Okay.
Right? Who am I one is my favorite out of
Okay.
all the things, okay? Because this book has like about or 100 questions this has, okay? And each question is going to be like உங்களே யோசிக்க வைக்கும் ஓ இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு சுச்சுவேஷன் நம்ம லைஃப்ல நடந்துச்சுன்னா வாட் வில் ஹேப்பன் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு பட் இட்ஸ் ஆல்சோ வெரி I'd say therapeutic or relaxing if you like sit with this journal, even for like 5 or 10 minutes whenever you're stressed.
Right.
Okay. So I'm just gonna, as a ritual, I'm just gonna pick up like a random question out of this,
Sure.
and I'll probably ask you. Okay. So this is like on page 18. What small gesture from a stranger made a big impact on you?
What small
This
gesture?
long gap is what I was talking about. It'll make you think.
Yeah, what small gesture? Let me think. I think not just one,
Okay.
but generally when people recognize me in public itself, how they approach me, how they speak to me and things like this, I'm actually very, very shocked every time, very surprised. So there's not one special gesture as such, but just a overall thing when people recognize you and when they approach you, they want to take a photo or something like that. That moment itself is like
A
very
big
special.
impact.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very
it's very
special
sweet.
every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it. That's very sweet. Yeah. Do we need to break? Okay. That's actually very sweet. No, being recognized. It gives like chills and goosebumps
Correct.
and all.
And usually nanu party both of us,
Huh.
if we are out somewhere, let's just say even the bank or something like that, அங்கேயும் recognize பண்ணிடுவாங்க யாராச்சும். So அந்த டைம்ல they'll be like we watched your videos.
And I think it's they recognize party first and
Yeah.
then you.
And என்னன்னா அவங்களுக்கு வந்துட்டு we understand the depth of it. For her it's like wow, it's so nice and so happy. So seeing her reaction to how அவங்க ஏதாவது சொல்லும்போது பாட்டியோட ரியாக்ஷன் பார்க்கறது, that's very special for me. Yeah.
Because I know, like, 2023 in a nutshell, if I say, you can tell me how 2023 was for you, but when I see, I think there was also a phase of time where health-wise you were low, people in your family, that also takes a lot of toll on the mental health, I would say, because work-wise you can't, you just can't work efficiently, you would want to take a break from there.
Yeah.
But other than that, you've also had like a lot of hits in 2023. So how was 2023 in a nutshell for you?
So you actually, in the previous question, you actually asked me about hustle culture also,
Yeah,
right? Which
yeah.
I would like to add to this and then give you the answer. So the last 2 years for me have been about hustling only, and I've been very open about this. Okay, I'm not shy to admit that I have hustled and I have had long days and slept less and all these things. I have done these things, but now I'm in a phase where I want to have balance, where I'm aware that I want to have balance. But this was a decision I took when I started out and when I recognized that okay, this is a very intense field. It's going to require this much of my energy. So you have to hustle if you want to get to that goal. But that hustling period is actually not to like throughout your career or throughout your life. It's for a short duration, and it's better to do it at that point.
Yeah.
Right? So 2023 was just all out. Go all out and see how much you can push yourself. To what extent. So be it my physical health or mental health, I try to focus on everything to the max and also focus on work. So no time to do anything. No time to like go on vacation, no time to go party, no time to do any of those things. It was only centered around me, like internally. Looking internally, trying to focus internally, trying to be more self-aware, trying to set my priorities right. So that was what it was about. So definitely journaling was a big part of that. Because recognizing, because you'll forget, right? So writing it down, it helps really. And I like to take pictures also of some moments and things like that, so that you can keep getting reminded of all those things that you're like going through. And towards the end of 2023, I was more conscious that the next year has to be about balance, bringing in some kind of stability into the work side and the personal side and things like that. So it's going well so far.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad. And I wish you nothing but the best, even in the coming futures.
Thank you. Thank you.
Being, I see a visionary in you, right? So being the vision that you have, I can't wait to see how you create the impact.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting. I'm already inspired. I'm waiting to see a lot of budding people who aspire to be inspired by none other than Neeraj. Yay! But
Thank you.
thank you so much for doing this, spending time with us.
Thank you,
How was
thank
your
you.
experience of the podcast?
Fantastic. I was just going to tell you that you're doing a great job here. I
Thank
think
you.
this is an untapped space where, there's a lot of potential. And we're getting to tell our stories also in a very unfiltered way, right? So big congrats to you also for taking the initiative and starting it out. And wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Neeraj. Well, thank you for coming.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. With that, we definitely come to an end of the episode. You know the drill, but please make sure that you join this community and also subscribe to Everything Nee. If you don't know, he also has a YouTube channel where he used to post vlogs and he will in the future. So you can watch like more about Nee on Everything Nee, Neeraj Elango Instagram and his YouTube channel. Wishing you the best. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for watching. If you've stuck for so long, I understand that it gets a little tedious to like have like 60 minutes podcast, but that's when you get to know the real person. And that's our intention. Just like how Neeraj says that he finds the stories of food very interesting. We find the stories of people very interesting. And that's what we intend to bring to you. That is it. Signing off, Katie from Conversation with Katie.